Was it just me, or did all of you have to suffer through the first hour and a half, 2 hours of Raw? I swear to God, Stephanie McMahon either had a vaginal discharge or she had a vaginal blood fart at the beginning of the show, and it just kind of made the whole hour and a half following just ridiculous. Roman Reigns and Stephanie McMahon at the beginning of the show, nobody wants to see it. Nobody wants to listen to it. I really can't remember much of what she was saying. My opinion, if she wants to mimic anyone or try to emulate anyone, trying to emulate her father's voice is the wrong direction to go for her. She's already got a very powerful voice as it is, and then when she's got to screech and growl and snarl like a freaking gorilla in heat, it makes it unpleasant to watch. You're watching from pillar to post. I am your host, Pete Wall, and I was trying to figure out the way to start the show to make the beginning of the show interesting, but it makes it very hard to do when you're watching a show like Raw and they've got an hour and a half of bullshit. You know, you need your bottle of bleach, chug that, take a couple of fucking hits of, you know, good weed, you know, some kush maybe, chase that down with some tequila, hit a bottle of Jack Daniels, and maybe Raw might be enjoyable. But you got to sanitize your mouth first, because that vaginal discharge that Stephanie McMahon had at the top of the show just affected every fucking thing at the beginning. She announced Roman would not be able to have Strowman tonight. That Strowman had another fight, and that would be against the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. Woo. Two big guys. You don't expect much from them because you know it's going to be a slow match. You know, I'm gonna try and be kind, but I want to give you my views first of tonight's show and what we had to sit through. Now, you've got a team that you've finally given the push after abusing their character to the point where there is absolutely no way that they can come back from that, besides moving to a different brand. The Club. This is who I'm speaking of. Anderson and Gallows. You finally give them the push. You finally give them the nod. They're the tag team champions of Raw. So why does a team that holds the tag team titles have to prove themselves against one man? I don't understand it. You know, tag teams back in the day were respected. You know, there used to be a bit of a saying back then, you know, there was more tag team matches on a show because it gave the fans more to watch. There was more entertainment. The matches were longer. The matches were more exciting. You know, instead of seeing two guys fight, you've seen four guys fighting. And there was always something to look forward to. Your tag team divisions these days are nothing, and you abuse the tag teams. And by abuse, I mean you don't use them properly. You hardly see them in a tag match on Raw. You don't see much of the tag teams on SmackDown either, and when you do, you are made to sit through a tag team battle royal, or like the pay-per-view, a tag team turmoil. These guys should be having a bigger spot. You have all this time, 3 hours. And of course, JBL will say a whole hour of that is devoted to the cruiserweights. You know, when I see Roman Reigns do this, the only thing I'm thinking is somebody needs to get fisted. And obviously, that's the whole creative team. It's the people running Raw. It's the people running SmackDown. I don't understand how this hatred for your tag teams became so apparent. I don't know how it came about. I don't know how it got started. But for some reason, the McMahons have turned away from tag teams in such a big way. It's not fun to watch these tag teams anymore because either they're doing handicap matches or their matches are so short, it was a waste of time to put 4 men in that ring. You know, I'm going to go into the review or the results. We had Stephanie McMahon, Roman Reigns at the beginning. You know, Roman Reigns, you know, basically stated he wanted Strowman tonight. That wasn't happening. Stephanie McMahon asked the fans if they wanted to see it. You know, obviously the fans want to see it because they know if Strowman gets his hands on Reigns, there's damage being done. Stephanie McMahon basically just said, no, that ain't happening. She said that Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns would be facing each other at Fastlane, and Roman Reigns was not allowed to put his hands on Strowman tonight or during the match between Mark Henry and Braun Strowman. The club interrupts, and the promo they cut was so bad. I don't know if they were trying to be funny, if they were trying to be serious. They came off like a fucking joke. These guys were to have one of the biggest careers out in Japan. And to see them, and from the clips I've seen, they had a very successful time in New Japan Wrestling. To see what they are doing now, how they're talking, they are a fucking joke. And not in a funny way. I'm not laughing when I'm watching. I want to shut off my TV. But it boils down to them basically challenging Roman Reigns to a match. The match itself, not very good. You know, there's commercials between it, so I didn't, you know, you weren't missing much. And it ended up with a DQ because Gallows didn't want to get out of the ring when the ref insisted he get out. So he counted to 5. Gallows still wasn't listening. They were still putting the boots to Reigns. Bell rings. Referee calls DQ. End of match. But the beatdown on Reigns still begins. But somehow Super Samoan Roman Reigns makes a comeback. He hits two Superman punches as usual. You know, it's a given. He's going to hit either one of these guys with one. And you know, that's that basically, you know. We had the entire New Day come out for Kofi Kingston versus Bo Dallas match. For guys that were pushed as hard as New Day to break Demolition's record, it's getting sad now. It's getting old. And I've only been watching for 4 weeks now. And I'm tired of it. These guys need to either break up or they need to change their ways. And they're not going to change from heel or from face to heel because they've got all these products that they're trying to sell. And they're aimed directly at children. So you don't see this team breaking up or going heel anytime soon. But they need a new direction. They basically mock Bo Dallas and kind of throw him off his game. Kofi wins. You know, it was a quick match. It was time filler. We end up with a Neville interview in the back room afterwards. Jack Gallagher, he interrupts. Neville tells Jack that Perkins is more of a threat to him, and Jack's out of his depth. I find Jack Gallagher interesting. I find him unique. Very fucking white. And, you know, he's got his funny moments. I think he overplays it a little bit. But he's got good qualities in him. And I've seen him wrestle tonight. He's a great wrestler. He makes it very entertaining to watch. But these matches for the cruiserweights are so short that as soon as you're getting into the match is over. You know, it's the interview part, so Neville basically says that he's not on the same level as Neville is. Jack tells him that they'll see at Fastlane, and he walks away and gets ready for his match. Now, when we come back from commercial, we've got Noam Dar standing in the ring with Alicia Fox. You know, that's the only thing that this guy brings to the table is instead of saying Alicia Fox, Alicia Fox. Everyone gets a kick out of it. You know, it's going to last for a while. But he's going to be facing Jack Gallagher tonight. Jack Gallagher, he like I said, these matches are so short. By the time you're getting into it, it's already over. There's a headbutt and a running drop kick and pinfall, and the match is over. You know, it's short-lived. You know, cruiserweights used to be endorsed better. They were pushed harder. They were high flyers. You don't really see that these days. And when you do, it's just a move that we've seen guys that weigh almost twice their weight are doing in the ring. It's not cruiserweight fighting anymore. It's not lucha libre. I know it's supposed to be a safer way for the cruiserweights, so they're not hurting themselves all the time. But take the cuffs off a little bit. Give them more time. Maybe we get to enjoy them a little bit more. I'm not going to get WWE Network just to watch 205 Live. Because for one, my provider will not cover the WWE Network. And I'm not going to go to Rogers or Bell to get screwed over. So that's out of the question. So I'm not going to see a really good match from these cruiserweights anytime soon. Neville comes out, and there's a little stare down between him and Jack Gallagher. Neville raises his cruiserweight title high, you know, just leading up to Fastlane. So nothing much there. Right before commercial break, we see a nice stretch limo pull in. Samoa Joe and Triple H step out. So Triple H is at the show tonight along with his wife. Advice to Triple H: you need to drop your dick in your wife's mouth every now and then. Maybe she will shut the fuck up for a change, because no one wants to see it. We get a quick promo of the Emelina being finally unveiled tonight. This is bullshit. You know, I've only been watching 3 weeks, but I guess it's been 17 weeks since everyone's been able to, or everyone's been waiting for this unveiling of Emelina. She came out in a dress. From the pictures I've seen, there wasn't much other, you know, nothing really of a change. And then she has this little spiel and says that you've all seen the creation of Emma to Emelina. Now see the creation of Emelina to Emma. And she walks off. So, to me, this is very strange. All this hype of an Emelina character, and she says it's going to be just coming back as Emma. Is this going to take another 17 weeks to finally see what Emma's going to look like? Bullshit. You know, everyone's already been hating on this as it is. From what I've been seeing on YouTube, everyone knew it was going to be something stupid, and they proved again tonight that they can't only just wreck a character like Brodus Clay over, you know, screw him over with these overextended promos, but they can do it to a chick like Emma as well. I'm going to take a drink of coffee quickly and I'll get back to it. Come back and Bailey segment, interview in the locker room. She says tonight she will fulfill her dream and she will become the women's champion. And this is just the gist of her interview. And we see Jericho and Owens talking in the back, talking about the Festival of Friendship. Triple H interrupts here, and I didn't hear everything because there was some talking going in the room with me. And did Triple H tell Owens that he wanted to have some words with him in private? Because later on, like this was like just a few minutes later, we see Owens and Triple H quietly speaking in the backstage area away from everyone. You know, and I had a thought right there something big was going to happen. Because as everyone knows, it was Triple H who basically gave Kevin Owens the Universal title. So, right there I had a suspicion that maybe, possibly, this Festival of Friendship was going to go the wrong way for Jericho. And it would be later on that night, or tonight, that we would find out. Until then, though, we had Strowman versus Mark Henry. I'm going to be honest, I didn't stick around for this match all through it. I caught glimpses here and there before I had to walk out and hit the convenience store. But, like all big men, you know, it's a back and forth power game. You know, each of them are trying to show that they are the stronger man. I did catch this. You got a guy that's in the record book as a power lifter, and he's picked up guys the size of Big Show and other huge guys. What's the other fucking giant's name? That's the Punjabi giant. And heavier, you know. And he picks up Braun Strowman for the World's Strongest Slam. And you could see by the way he was holding him, he had no problems holding up Strowman. And all of a sudden he just falls back. Couldn't hold the weight anymore. Like, give me a break. It just didn't look real enough. You know, if Mark Henry would have been injured, if Strowman would have been working on his back a bit more to that point, but we didn't see any of that until, you know, afterwards. I walked out. My wife wrote down some notes here. Let's see. Ah, she basically wrote down Strowman power slammed or gave Mark Henry running power slam. Pin, Strowman wins. So yeah, basically there you go. That's the match. You know, it wasn't nothing much. Reigns came out and Strowman knocks him off the apron. Reigns is able to get back in, and I didn't see this either, so I'm reading off these notes. Delivers 2 Superman punches to Strowman. Strowman still is on his feet. Reigns runs in to give the 3rd Superman punch. Strowman throws him on his shoulder, power slams Reigns. End of story. You know, I can see the fans really getting into this match at Fastlane because I think most of us enjoy watching Reigns get his ass beat. The only problem is we're going to see Reigns make a comeback and he's going to win at Fastlane. That's my prediction right there for Fastlane between these two. We had Sheamus, Cesaro, Enzo, and Cass in the back. Talking about having their partners' backs, and Cass and Enzo tell Sheamus to do something as in trying to get a match. Also my wife's notes because I wasn't here for it. I came in during the Cole interview with Samoa Joe. I've always liked the way Joe speaks. He's very direct. He doesn't talk a lot of bullshit, and he started getting frustrated by the way Michael Cole kept on bringing Triple H into the questions. And he flat out told Cole, this isn't about Triple H. You brought me in here to talk about me. You know, it's like I said, I walked into this, so I didn't catch it all. And he basically said he was here to wreck people. He was here to hurt people. He wasn't here to be anyone's bitch. And all the people that have followed Triple H and been turned on in the past, there was a reason for it. It was because they needed Triple H to hold their hand and guide them. He didn't need any hand holding. He didn't need anyone to prop him up and boost his ego, because he could do that all himself. And he was going to prove that. And I believe he will. I believe he is the guy to make Raw even better than it has been. And we move on finally to a not too bad match. Sami Zayn versus Rusev. Throughout the entire match, it was just a beatdown by Rusev. Every time Zayn tried making a comeback, he was beat back down. I want to know how long Rusev is going to wear that stupid fucking guard for his supposedly broken nose. I've had broken noses before. I have never had to wear something to protect it. Matter of fact, I've had my nose broken 2 nights in a row. Got it all straightened out, got it fixed up, got another fight the next night, another broken nose. I've never lowered myself to wearing something like that on my face. And to me, it would be a sign of humiliation to wear that in public. But I know this is wrestling. They're doing it for some kind of storyline or whatever. I don't know. I don't care. Either way, that little piece of plastic and cushioning that they have, it's not going to help anything. If you get kicked in the face, your nose is getting fucking broken again. But like I said, it was a beatdown of Sami Zayn all night long. And they're playing up the underdog bit like they have been for a long time with him. And they end up on the outside. Rusev throws Zayn back in the ring. And as he's climbing into the ring, he's right by the turnbuckles. Zayn delivers a haluva kick. And I was kind of shocked by it. I thought it was just going to be like a punishment type match, you know, beat down Zayn, make him feel worthless, and there you go. Instead, they made it look like he was a very lucky winner. So he delivers the haluva kick, he gets the 1, 2, 3, your winner, Sami Zayn, and he exits the ring, and he's making his way up the ramp where he is being, some chick is waiting for him. I really got to learn the names of these interviewers. Just saying some chick kind of sounds demeaning. I don't think anyone would really care. But he addresses what Joe said earlier in the interview, and I must have missed this part. Samoa Joe said something about Sami Zayn. He wasn't like Sami Zayn or some other people. And Sami Zayn basically says, "You're damn right. You're nothing like me. I fight and I get knocked down, and I will keep on coming back up. I'm not a sellout." And Samoa Joe's music hits, and Sami Zayn turns around, waiting for him to come out of the gorilla position, and he gets blindsided from the side. Gets a nice beat down, gets tagged. I don't know how many times Joe tagged him in the face, and bounces his head off the LED screens by the entrance, and thrown against it, and then he delivers the Coquina clutch, and just basically holds it in until Zayn just passes out, and ends it with saying to Sami Zayn, "When you use my name, you put fucking respect on it." And he walks off. I love Samoa Joe the way he is. He's always been very direct. He's always been brutal in his attacks. I've seen him play the face card in TNA. Never enjoyed it, but he still had that edgy part that he always possesses when he's a heel. I do like it that he's on Raw, and I just wish the first hour and a half of Raw would change a bit more. We had more matches, but they were very short-lived, and they were very stupid. And I'll be getting to one of those real shortly. I heard it announced at the beginning of the show that Teddy Long was getting inducted into this year's Hall of Fame. And he's going to be joining the likes of Kurt Angle and the Rock and Roll Express. It's good to see that Teddy Long's getting, some respect paid towards him by this induction. So we've got that. And then we've got Akira Tozawa versus Arya Daivari. I don't know about this guy. He's got great moves and everything, but the constant yelling throughout the match. I understand he probably doesn't speak very good English, but I'm pretty sure he could do something else besides just constantly these short shouts that he does. These bursts of... I don't know what it's supposed to do. Is it supposed to scare his opponent, or is it supposed to make them laugh, or is it supposed to put them off guard? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. I always want his opponent to put their fist right in his mouth. I've got a big fist. I'm pretty sure I can make it fit in his fucking mouth. It was another short match, like all the cruiserweight matches are. Ends with a bridging German suplex, and Akira takes the win. Yeah. Up next is the Festival of Friendship. For the most part, this was cringe. It bored the fuck out of me. My wife even made a comment. Is this all it is time filler? And I told her, yeah, it basically is. They don't know what else to do, so, fill it with bullshit. Um, we've seen Jericho unveil his gifts to Kevin Owens. And Kevin Owens came out looking very unpleasant to begin with. He uncomfortable to be there. And as soon as I seen him come out, after Jericho came out with the flashy hat and the fucking silver coat and everything and the showgirls, I seen it on Owens' face. Something big was going to happen tonight. And I just kind of was like, oh God, thank God finally this bullshit is over. I just didn't know I'd have to wait through about half an hour of bullshit before I got to it. But like I said, Jericho came out with showgirls. They get down in the ring. Jericho starts unveiling gifts. I don't want to say they were very homosexual gifts. I don't want to say that. That sounds like I'm a homophobe or something. They were very... It's like you were giving a gift to a lover. The little statue, intertwined lovers. The painting. It was a religious painting, but with Jericho and Kevin Owens, and very, like I said, very lover type gifts. And I was starting to wonder about Jericho's sexuality there. And the way it was going, it was just brutal. And then Kevin Owens is basically, it's like, I'm getting tired of this. Like, this doesn't make any sense. I can't put this in my house because I've got kids. I mean, what the hell is that statue of? And Jericho pleads with him to wait. He's got one more gift for him. He's going to hand him Goldberg. He should have done to Goldberg last week what he's going to do tonight. And it breaks to commercial with Jericho pointing at the stage. And the funny thing was, and I want to know this, did he stay in that pose the entire commercial break? Because when we came back from commercial, he's still pointing at the stage, waiting for Goldberg to appear. And Goldberg's entrance music finally kicks in, and out comes Gilbert. WWE used this guy back in the day when it was WCW versus WWE in the old Monday Night Wars to mock Goldberg. I thought it was very strange that they actually would bring this guy back, as Goldberg's under contract now. I would figure that he'd be offended by it, but they brought him back nonetheless. And Kevin Owens runs out while Gilbert's still making his way down the ramp, and he just trashes him. Just puts him out on the floor. He gets back in the ring, and Jericho asks, what the hell was going on and everything, and they start Kevin asks him to wait, and he goes and gets Jericho a gift. He says it's not as big, it's not as elaborate as what Chris Jericho's all done. So he gives him this box. Jericho opens it up, and he goes, you gave me a new list. And he's looking at it, and he goes, why is my name on the list? And he raises up the clipboard, and it says, the list of KO. And I had to smile right there because I knew it was going to come. The beat down. Owens just went right on the offensive right away and just attacked Jericho, brought him down to the ground, threw him out of the ring, threw him against the barrier, gave him the powerbomb on the apron, threw him back in the ring, and then bashed his head into the TV monitor. And he walked out of the ring. It was over. The friendship is over. And I want to say I'm happy, because it was old a long time ago, and I've only been watching straight for 3 weeks. I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube. Um, I was done with it before I even started watching Raw again. And I think everyone else was too, because it's been done to death. And it just made Owens look like a weaker champion. He needed Jericho to make sure he could stay the Universal Champion. It should have never been done because it cheapens Owens' reign. And now rumors are it's going to be a squash match between him and Goldberg at Fastlane. Goldberg's going to walk away the championship. I believe it will happen. I believe that McMahon wants Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar to main event. And how are you going to main event this match unless you have the Universal title involved? So I believe Fastlane we're going to see Goldberg become the Universal Champion, and that way they can headline WrestleMania, and it'll make Vince McMahon happy, and the rest of us will be sitting there cringing. We have Enzo and Cass following, and Enzo and Cass come out. It's going to be Enzo versus Cesaro, but obviously the whole team's got to come out. They do their usual bullshit coming down the ring. That's getting old as well. Do you think these guys be able to switch it up a little bit? I know the fans seem to love it. After the Kevin Owens Jericho commotion, the fans seemed to liven up a lot more. They were behind the wrestlers a lot more. It was a very short match, a very one-sided match. Cesaro picks up the win with a Super European uppercut. I'm going to call it a Super European uppercut because he throws Enzo way up in the air. And as he's coming down, that's when he delivers the European uppercut. Don't know what else to say. You know, Cass, I believe next week we're going to see Cass versus Sheamus because those two wanted at each other following the match. Then it was announced that Big Show will verse Strowman next week on Monday night. I gotta say, Big Show is looking phenomenal. He's been working out. I just don't see this being a good match, but we'll see. They've been doing little competitions on the house shows between these two, body slam challenges or something. And we move into the women's title match. The best part of the night, besides the Kevin Owens Jericho beatdown. Charlotte versus Bayley for the women's Raw title. It was a great match. It was back and forth. There was a lot of beatdown on Bayley. Bayley always was able to come back, just like the underdog that she is. And we've seen a lot of great moves. So we've seen Charlotte do a moonsault off the barrier, and the way she landed on Bayley is kind of more on her head than anything else. And we've seen Bayley holding her neck like constantly after that. We end up with Dana Brooke coming back for this match. She interfered and broke the figure four lock that Bayley had on Charlotte, but with a rake to the eyes. And then we had Sasha Banks come out, clip Dana Brooke in the back with her crutch, and then she ran over to the other side of the ring because Charlotte had her figure eight lock put on Bayley, and gave her a quick jab to the chest with her crutch. Bayley goes and puts the Bayley to belly on her and gets the pinfall, and you have Bayley as your new Raw Women's Champion. We've seen her celebrate amongst the fans. We've seen her celebrate with Sasha for a little bit, and that was the end of the show. You know, the best part of the night was the final match, as well as the Jericho and Owens fight. I'm not going to say the festival part. That was just bullshit right there. When Owens finally turned on Jericho, that was the highlight. they could have. I know something needed to lead into this beatdown, but I think it could have been a lot more entertaining. A magician, very gay-like gifts, and then you had the list of KO, which brought on the beatdown. I really believe that the storyline's going to end up that Triple H gave him an ultimatum, because for the last how many months now he's been champion, and he's looked like a very weak champion, and now Triple H has brought in Samoa Joe, his destroyer, and Samoa Joe is looking more the champion than Kevin Owens has in the months that he's held this Universal title. So I think we're going to see a lot meaner streak come through on Owens. And we all know that these Samoa Joe and Owens faced each other a few times in NXT. They were really good fights. So eventually I think we could see Owens versus Samoa Joe on Raw or at one of the pay-per-views for the title. That's if Kevin Owens is going to walk out of Fastlane with the title, and I don't believe he will. But I really believe that he was given a warning, you know, lose the baggage and start showing the world that you're a champion, or I'm going to put Joe on you. That is my show tonight, or at least my review. I was going to do a video today about the Polara project, my son's car, but some factors ran into it. I felt like shit today, and I hurt my ankle last night, so I wasn't moving around too much. But I'm going to do a short video tomorrow. I've got to use my cell phone to take some video shoots of the car and some of the work we've done to it already, and also use it for some of the project that we're doing, and it's going to be the rear dashboard. We're putting a 12-inch sub and two 6x9s in the rear dash, and just customizing it. It's all going to be fiberglass when we're done. So that'll be up probably tomorrow, or I might spend the day editing it and then put it up the next day. I don't know yet. But I will be back tomorrow with SmackDown. I'm really hoping they put on a better show this week, because last week I wasn't too into it. There were some good matches. It was 50-50 for me. So I'm hoping that we can boost that up a little bit. And you guys have a good night, because I'm hoping to have one as well. Talk to you tomorrow.